Hello and welcome to my next season preview. This season preview is for the Phantom Regiment out of Rockford, Illinois. They have been a DCI finalist every single season since 1974, just 3 seasons into DCI as we know it today. They were the 1996 and 2008 DCI World Champions. Their placement and score, though, has descended over the past few years. Their placement and score, both pieces, have gone down every single year since 2012. I'll dive into a little bit more into that later. Last season, 11th place, 86.95. Even though their placement and score has gone down or stayed the same, last season was the first time outside of the top 10 for Phantom Regiment since when they started their finalist streak in 1974. Let's dive in now. So, starting off, Phantom Regiment's 2019 schedule, they will begin on June 20th with the DCI tour premiere in Detroit, Michigan. That event will be streamed in theaters nationwide. Visit fathomevents.com to find your local theater. After that first show, when we'll get our first look at Phantom, they will go to Innovations in Brass North Canton in North Canton, Ohio on June 22nd. 2 nights later, they'll be in Evansville, Indiana, and then they'll take a few days off and be back in action June 28th with DCI Central Indiana in Muncie, Indiana. All the events here highlighted in green are broadcast on flowmarching.com. After DCI Central Indiana, you've got 2 more shows in a row. You've got Show of Shows, their home show in Rockford, Illinois, and River City, Rap City, Rochester edition in Rochester, Minnesota. To start off July, they start off with some solid rehearsal time on the 1st and 2nd. Then July 3rd, they will be at the Rotary Music Festival in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. They will go from Wisconsin then, travel down to the southeast of the United States to Lexington, South Carolina by July 5th for Crown Beat. And then to wrap off this first third of their schedule, they will be at DCI Orlando in Orlando, Florida on July 6th. After the Orlando show, they will stay down south and kind of just move up with some of these other corps, and then they'll finally separate. So to start off this second part, they'll start in Georgia, in Valdosta, and in Houston, Georgia, with the Drums Across America shows. July 11th, then, Drums Across the Smokies in Knoxville, and then they'll be back in the Midwest for Tour of Champions Northern Illinois in DeKalb, Illinois on July 13th. That show the Phantom Regiment organization hosts. July 14th, then, they'll be at DCI St. Louis in Belleville, Illinois. Then they will go to DCI Broken Arrow in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma on July 16th. That show is one of the best events all season long. It features the top 8 corps from last season plus Phantom Regiment. That is going to be a very, very interesting night to see how placements and scores fall then. Phantom Regiment will begin their Texas tour with DCI North Texas in Denton on July 18th. They will continue on to DCI Katy in Katy, Texas on July 19th, and then the DCI Southwestern Championship in San Antonio, Texas on July 20th. They will then wrap up Texas tour on July 22nd with DCI Mesquite in Mesquite, Texas. They'll travel across the southern portion of the United States to DCI Arkansas in Little Rock, Arkansas on July 24th. Few solid days of rehearsal, then they'll be back in action with the DCI Southeastern Championship in Atlanta, Georgia on July 27th. July 28th, then Night Beat in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. July 29th, Drums Across the Tri-State in Charleston, West Virginia, another show Phantom hosts. They'll start off the final month where DCI takes place every year in August, Drums Along the Mohawk in Rome, New York, and then they will perform on Saturday night, not Friday night, Saturday night, at DCI East in Allentown, Pennsylvania, August 3rd, August 4th, August 5th. They make their way out to championships with shows in Buffalo, New York, and Akron, Ohio. And then August 8th through the 10th, DCI World Championships in Indianapolis, Indiana. So here I have listed the 2019 conductors for the Phantom Regiment. Head conductor Claire Wilcox, she returns for her second year on the podium. Joining her this year is Brett Abraham, Geneva Lee, and Bevan Zulu. So now, the main staff for Phantom Regiment. This group here, I don't know what to think of. They've been there for a few years, and as I said before, their placement's gone down every single year. Let's go through this now. Starting at the top, Executive Director of the Phantom Regiment Organization, Rick Valenzuela. Next on the list, Will Pitts, Program Coordinator and Brass Composer and Arranger. He was the conductor of Phantom Regiment in 2005, 2007, and 2008. 2008, of course, when he gets stabbed on the podium in the Spartacus show. He is an active music designer, judge, and instructor for high school band programs around the country, and he has worked with many of the top band programs in the nation. He currently serves on the board of directors for the Atlanta Youth Wind Symphony Foundation as well. Rob Ferguson, he is the percussion arranger and caption supervisor for Phantom Regiment. He also holds the position of director and program coordinator for Matrix Performing Arts, WGI percussion groups out of Ohio. They have a world-class group and an open-class group. He has worked with the Glassmen, and he is currently a member of the WGI Percussion Advisory Council. He also works with several high school programs across Ohio, including Firestone High School, Norton High School, and Central Crossing High School. Tim Newbern is the visual coordinator for Phantom Regiment. He's the founder and director of Cypress Independent Winter Guard from Texas. They are 7-time WGI Guard world-class champions. He works significantly with Langham Creek High School in Texas, and he has also worked with the Bluecoats, Blue Knights, and other drum corps around the world. Mark Evans is a program consultant with Phantom Regiment. Jack Percival is drill designer. Chad Berkstresser, another designer on the visual front. Courtney Mills is the Phantom Regiment movement choreographer. She performed with the Seminole High School Winter Guard in Florida, the Company Color Guard, Carolina Crown, and she has taught at over 150 high schools in the United States, plus many more drum corps and winter ensembles. And finally on the list, Evan Brown is the electronics designer for Phantom Regiment. Phantom, one of the corps that has a lot of main staff. That's why I have the second page of people. Starting at the top here, Brad Toth, brass caption head for Phantom Regiment. He performed at the Cadets as lead soprano and trumpet and drum major in 2001. He worked at the Cadets and the Blue Knights before coming to Phantom Regiment last season. Daniel Cook is the assistant brass caption head. He is the former director of bands at DeLand High School in Florida. He's currently finishing a Doctor of Musical Arts degree in wind conducting at Northwestern University, and he is previously a staff member of the Blue Knights. Stephanie Chavez is color guard caption head. She marched Phantom Regiment and Carolina Crown during her marching days. She is currently the color guard director at Friendswood High School in Texas and is taught at the Craftsman Blue Knights and Boston Crusaders color guards. Sheldon Appo is assistant color guard caption head. Lauren Harper is flag choreographer and color guard coordinator. Ryan Pride is the percussion battery coordinator. Corey Dorn is the front ensemble coordinator. He is the adjunct professor of percussion at Texas A&M University Commerce and has worked with Matrix Indoor, Glassman, and Impulse Indoor Percussion, among others. And finally on the list, Andrew Desmond, visual caption head for Phantom Regiment. So before the season even starts, of course, Phantom Regiment will have rehearsals leading up to their first show. So really, they have a bunch of different venues for spring training, starting off on May 15th with full course spring training at Rockford University in Rockford, Illinois. They will then transition to Western Illinois University for a few weeks until June 8th, then June 8th till June 12th at Rockford University in Rockford, Illinois. June 11th is their Music in the Park concert in Sinissimi Park in Rockford, Illinois. And then June 13th through June 16th, they'll cap off their preseason events with full course spring training, that is, at Stillman Valley High School in Stillman Valley, Illinois. Phantom Regiment 2019. It is entitled I Am Joan. And honestly, I'll be as honest as I can be here. And I like to be I always like to try to give some of my listeners and viewers a little bit of insight into what I'm kind of thinking when I go into this and how the process works. And usually I like to have just a genuine, original, like, first shot at this, or maybe second or third at each different piece of, each different component of the podcast. But for Phantom, I hate to think about this, because I'm not a fan of what they've been bringing out the past few years. I think it's been a little bit of an extreme disappointment from the design team. But, I wanted to be as positive as I could, so I recorded this and was as positive as I could, but I was pretty rough still. So, I do that, I recorded it, I'm almost ready to publish it, and then last night was their concert in the park, so I'm like, okay, I'll see if any videos come out, and then, I'll say last night, as I'm filming this podcast on June 12th, and June 11th is when their season preview was. And, just that or another addition to that is they were releasing their uniforms before the season preview. The concert in the park, sorry, confusing stuff. And I was like, okay, I'll wait for a video, I'll wait for the uniforms. I see the uniforms, I'm like, okay, they're fine, but we'll need to see what happens. And then I watched the live stream from it on Periscope, and that was good. I actually watched it a second time. That is Phantom Regiment. That is just what they need. Their musical impact, they play Carmina Burana, and it is just amazing. The impact from that show, I can't wait to be blown away. Trying to think right now of any shows I'll be at, other than, like, World Championships that they'll be at. Just amazing. That, well, I guess how much doubt I had in them and how much they're gonna kind of perform my expectations. Their musical selections are listed here. You've got Carmina Burana, as I said. Then you've got a piece entitled Audivi Medianate by Oliver Waspy that Santa Clara Vanguard is also performing this year. Zohar by Jonathan Leshnoff, Fire of Eternal Glory, and Lady Macbeth of Zank by Dmitry Shostakovich, and then two little bit more like it's modern pieces by 30 Seconds to Mars and Two Steps from Hell. Phantom, I had low expectations for. I actually thought they'd be in 14th or 15th. I don't know where I'm putting the ceiling at, but if you follow me on Twitter or have ever seen or have seen this particular Twitter post I'm talking about, I really just tweet out vaguely sometimes and just direct things towards some cores, but I don't use names. It's as vague as possible. And I've done a lot of that for Phantom over the last few days, leading up to now that I'm filming this and before I saw it. I was like, they've got trouble. They're wearing helmets. I saw a video, 50-second clip. I was like, oh boy. But now that I've seen this concert in the park performance, and it's different than years past, because I'm like, is this just that I haven't seen drum corps in a while, or is this just that it's good? And it's just that it's good. I'd be shocked, honestly, if Phantom can pull off the visual aspect of the show, for them not to be in top 8. If they can't pull off the visual aspect, then they've got a problem, because that could throw them out of finals. It's just that, just when you think that they're going in the wrong direction, I believe they might actually be going into the right direction now. I'm going to go ahead to the uniforms now, and I'll finish my analysis of the show. Here's the uniforms, and to the best of knowledge to me, and also what I've seen others saying, is the one on the left they wear for the first half of the show. The one in the middle, this like tan vest thing, they change into in the middle of the show. The black comes off, that opens up to that, and then the stuff on the right, I know the bottom one's guard, but I don't know. And the one on the top on the left, the boy, is the middle uniform, but I can't really exactly tell what the one on the right is. I'm going to infer it's a color guard costume, but I might be a little wrong there. As I said, Phantom might be in the right direction. If they can pull things off visually, they're right where they need to be. If they can't, I think they'll still make finals, which makes for an incredibly different talk about finals, because I've been saying Phantom down to the Troopers have a shot at making finals, and now I'm like, I don't even know, because like, will Spirit pass Phantom? I think Phantom's biggest problem still, even if they are amazing, and really you might even have to throw in the Mandarins or maybe Blue Knights and Blue Stars. I'm not going to get up to the Cadets, and I'm not really confident in saying the Blue Stars and Blue Knights in this, but I think other corps' problems are not their individual problems. Like, that's not their problem. The problem is every other corps is getting so much better that if you have a down year and you have a bad show design, as somebody always does, or if the performers cannot execute as well as you need them to, it really ends up, I see, creating a pretty big issue when you've got a lot of corps moving up. I mean, everybody from 12th on down is going to get better. And everybody from 12th on up is going to get better. But will some jump at higher rates than others? We'll just have to wait and see. The DCI Tour premiere is going to be very interesting, because I saw somebody's prediction, and really what was getting me going on this, I kind of got really triggered at this Phantom bandwagon thing I've been seeing about, like, how they're gonna do really well. I'm like, no, they aren't. And now I'm like, oh, well, maybe. But I've seen predictions from people, and they're insane. Like, them winning and them coming in third. Like, okay, maybe. But I've never, well, aside from something like Boston, where you hire a whole new staff, can't recall, at least in the past few years, where a corps goes from 11th to the championship, or third. So it'll just be very, very, very interesting to see how the season turns out for Phantom. It will be if the show does not do well, this is probably the design team's last year with the corps. But if it can, I think Phantom's a real force to be reckoned with, and they might be up to that level once again. Thank you for watching this season preview. I have just a few notes. Make sure to visit my own personal website about all things drum corps, drumcorpscentral.weebly.com. Score schedules, leaderboards, and more can all be found there. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DrumCoreGeek and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Drum Corps Central. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.